Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, at the funeral today of Haniyeh, the terrorist leader of Hamas, announced that revenge would be directed at Israel. I'm joined by Dr. Michael Oren, former ambassador to the United States from Israel. Good morning, Dr. Oren. What do you make of the threat from the... It's an interesting week in the Middle East. What do you think is going to happen next with the Supreme Leader in Iran?
Well, I'm going to tell you first of all, where I am now. I'm up on the northern border, and I'm in the military and armed and waiting.
Wait, you're a little bit old for that, aren't you?
I'm quite old for that. And I become like sort of the mascot at the Northern Front there, I tell you.
Yeah, do they help you in and out of the tank? What are they doing?
Yeah, thank you much. I was showing pictures of me shooting my 7.62 Mag machine gun yesterday. That was entertaining. I just probably can't get us on TV right now. You'd actually see me in all my military glory here.
That is remarkable. What's your rank, by the way?
I'm a major.
All right, I'm just going to call you Major Oren, so Major Oren, what do you expect to happen?
Listen, we don't know. But we're prepared for any possible scenario, anything from up north or further south, any combination of Iran, Hezbollah, other proxies in Iraq and Yemen, all possible here. And we're prepared, and we understood.
Now, Dr. Oren, you've advised Prime Minister Netanyahu on and off for years. If Iran hits Israel a second time, Tony Blinken and Jake Sullivan and I think Joe Biden talked him, the Prime Minister, out of a major reprisal the first time. If Iran strikes Israel directly a second time, what would your advice to him be?
My advice would be to respond in the way that Iran won't attack us the third time. Certainly. But I'm sitting up here on the northern border. I'm with the most extraordinary people up here who've been in war for 10 months. 10 months. This is a young man still right up the road to me by his brother Rocket. And then in Taco, I went to his funeral yesterday. This is life here. Life here is under fire constantly. And a lot of where in the world. And certainly in the United States, maybe you're throw a half a line, they started firing on October 8th. Yeah. But what's happened since then? We've got 100,000 people who've been polluted from their homes here. People living in bomb shelters. And, in my group, here, people, sleeping in uniforms and their boots. So it's a reality that's not shared, ununderstood there. And I've been reading the press, Hugh, since these operations, one of which were taking credit for, one of which were not. It doesn't matter. The headline in the New York Times is, basically Israel blocks peace in the Middle East by killing terrorists.
Right.
I don't recommend you do this. The obituary for Ismail Haniyeh in the New York Times is probably the lowest level of American journalism I've ever seen, and that's quite a record to break.
Well, no, we are seeing that everywhere today.
The fact that this man is a mass murderer, that he killed thousands of Israelis and Palestinians, that this flawed sucker from Hezbollah killed Americans. It's unspeakable that somehow we are being blamed for blocking peace by taking out mass murderers.
Well, that's the people that we have in power. They're not going to be in power long. They're all lame ducks. Tony Blinken issued a so-called tough demand for all parties in the Middle East to de-escalate. Does anybody listen to Tony Blinken? Anybody at all?
What does that mean, demand to de-escalate? Why don't you say something like this? If you mess with Israel, we're gonna ruin your day, and see what happens.
That is how one deters escalation, is by saying,
yes,
if you dare do anything, we will stand with Israel and our carriers are close by. That's how you deter it.
And we'll make you pay a price you won't forget for generations.
Now, if in fact...
So that's what you have to say. And you got to say, thank you, Israel. Thank you, Israel, for standing up for our civilization and taking out these mass murderers.
Well, Israel is the leader of the West right now. The rest of the West is in retreat, save those people who are sending weapons to Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting against tyranny. But in the Middle East, I don't see anybody standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel anymore. Is any country in the world standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel?
There's the Czech Republic.
Okay.
I'm thinking. Hungary standing shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Not much here. I'm actually coming on TV in a second. If you want to go to the TV.
All right, you go to your TV hit. Stay safe up there, Major Oren. Next week, I hope you're back to being Ambassador Oren. Thank you for joining me this morning. I must tell you, Iran-Hamas leaders vow revenge on Israel at Hanaya's Tehran funeral procession. It is a matter of time. I do not believe the Ayatollah makes such a threat without seriousness. And Tony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, who are acting for our incapacitated president, who has not been seen, neither the president nor the non-acting president, Vice President Harris, has said a word about this. The world is on the brink of a major escalation because Iran is going to do it again. And this time, as Michael Oren just pointed out, Netanyahu is not going to be restrained by people he knows has no power. No president is there. The lights are out at the White House because the lights are out inside of Joe Biden's mental facilities, faculties. And I am telling you, we are on the precipice right now.